Good afternoon, everybody. Looks like we had a couple comments on the last video I made, more or less asking about what would sink WordPress. How would people stop using WordPress? What would that take? Is that something that's possible because of this WP engine and WordPress dilemma here? Is that something we might see in the future? So we have some notes here, and I'm going to give you guys my opinion of what's going to happen and the factors that play into that. All right, so this was the original post here, and just started off here with my credentials. Here I am, registered with WordPress for 14 years. I have 8 years with Envato Market, which is where we get the themes. And I also, every single day, we basically create WordPress websites for a business that I co-own as well. So we're deep in, I'm deep in, we got our ear to the ground here. We're not just somebody creating videos. With that being said, what really makes WordPress so strong is the massive ecosystem, one of the things. So, we have places like this called the Envato Market. This is a massive store, basically that thrives off of WordPress products. There's more than just WordPress on here as well. They also create the Envato Market here for videographers, photographers, just more or less a better resource for stock photos and royalty-free music for a subscription price that's actually pretty decent. But either way, this is more or less for WordPress. A lot of people use this specifically for WordPress. Now you can see Shopify's there, but of course the first item that you see here is WordPress. And there's a ton of other stores and markets that are just for WordPress. So this is not just the only one here. So just to put that out, why is WordPress so strong? I think the first bullet point is it has a massive ecosystem. The second point here for why is WordPress so strong is it's trusted and it's used. The last time we looked, 33% of the web is run off of WordPress. That's massive. So people like me are accustomed to using WordPress. We use Shopify if we need to, or man, I really would hate to use Wix, but if somebody's using Wix and they need something changed, sometimes we can do that. But it's just preferred for builds that are something more or less along the lines of a pizza shop website, or a mechanics website. Things that don't need to be a web app, but more or less of a here's our business, here's what we do, here's the about us, here's the contact page, here's some photos, here's a Instagram plugin, things like that. So there's really a place and a time for WordPress. Another thing here is there's no monthly fee for WordPress like Wix or like Squarespace or like the other competitors out there. You can use WordPress.org for free. Now, yes, you're going to have to buy hosting. That's just part of really running any type of environment on anything. It's just a bare minimum hosting. You can find incredibly cheap hosting, and you're going to pay for that on the back end because it's going to be very slow. Or you can use something that actually works well with WordPress and works well with the internet, which I personally use WP Engine. Another thing here is there's really no code required. You don't even have to be front end. You can be no code. So these are frameworks here. If you're looking at something to be incredibly time consuming, you can use frameworks. If you want to have something that's not nearly as flexible, you can use, Joomla or things like that. But at the end of the day, install WordPress. It's already there. That's it. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Another big point that might be a little controversial here is it's SEO friendly. Now, if we go ahead and use something like builtwith.com, you can actually see what websites are using what. So, for example, if we want to see who's on the front page of, we'll do best snowboards. I bet you this website right here, Outside Magazine, which is the first one that pops up, is going to be built by WordPress. Yep, right there, WordPress right here. So that's what they use. You know what? Go ahead and try it yourself. I have never seen a Wix or a Squarespace website pop up first on anything that ever mattered. Another massive part is they have an existing community. Now, they have WordCamp here in Portland, Oregon this year. So what would, in my opinion, what would sync WordPress? I think something that would come out with these little items here, I think that would replace WordPress. But, you know, to each his own. This is more or less my opinion, and I think it matters since we've been doing this for almost 20 years now. Let's check it out. All right, just as an example, this is one of my blog here. The basics that WordPress comes with here is a website builder that's pretty limited. I wouldn't say really limited compared to most, but it's not beautiful. It's not fun to use. It's so-so. So really, of course, what we have to do to remediate that is use a plugin or use a theme. I'm using B-Theme. I use B-Theme for almost every single build that I have control over, just because it's my favorite. I know how to use it, and in my opinion, it's the best one. So if you want something like that, something like this, you'll have to buy a premium theme. We'll just put a button there, center it. So you really don't have this type of customization with what comes out of the box with WordPress. You kind of have to find and experiment and spend money, really figure out what works best, and it can take a lot of time to do that. A lot of the times the header gets messed up on these B-Builder builds, so I had to go back and change the settings on a different page. That's incredibly annoying, and it takes time. And you know, if you don't know what you're doing the first time, it takes a ton of time to do. So if there was something out there that kind of had everything uniform, that made sense, that would just be the natural progression of things. You know, you wouldn't have to find themes, you wouldn't have to find these other builders, just one builder. If there was just something that came out that was just one, at the end of the day, we're all kind of looking for a good user interface. Now I have to, whenever I'm a professional in the WordPress space, people are using Elementor and I'm using B-Theme or B-Builder, and then some people are using the Beaver Builder, and now I gotta go in and figure out, oh man, I gotta change all this stuff. It's a pain in the cheeks. That's what it is. It's a pain in the cheeks for people like me to have to relearn, you know, 6 different builders. Come on! Come on! Another massive thing that I think would sync WordPress is more or less something that's easier than WooCommerce, kind of like Shopify. It's so easy to start with Shopify to sell stuff. But again, big SEO on a Shopify store is garbage. So you're never really coming up on the first ranks if you're not using WordPress. So if you're selling something and you don't have anything organic, you have to pay every single click you get. Or if you're only getting people inside of your email list, that's kind of a huge deal. Not to mention you don't have nearly as much customization as you do on WordPress. You don't have the plugins and you don't have the themes. You just have what Shopify has and some of their limited plugins that are kind of tacky. I'm not a big fan of them. Another thing that I think would crush WordPress, just some type of builder that would crush it, is just having these plugins that are obvious, just having them already just built in. Wouldn't it be kind of weird if you had to download posts every single time and download pages every single time and download the blog feature every single time? Why can't we just have the SSL? Why can't we just have the SSL already built in? Something simple to have the SSL activated. Why can't we already have Sitekit by Google just come with every single freaking download? Why can't we have W3 Total Cache? Just already something like that just makes caching easy. Already on there. What about Contact Form 7? Yeah, it comes with some of the themes, but it's, in my opinion, it's not my favorite. You have to be pretty well versed in CSS to make it look good, or else your form's gonna look like garbage. Why can't it come with something that has a nice form builder that's easy for people to create? All of these different little elements, I think that it could just come with the WordPress build. If we had a CMS that just came with the common items, that would be huge. Another thing that it's a little bit more or less my opinion is just like saying that the strong suit is a community. I don't ever really get invited personally. I don't ever really see anything reaching out to developers or people who are using WordPress. Maybe a little bit more outreach for invite new people instead of just having the same exact people show up. That would be pretty cool. That's just a personal opinion, but oh boy, would I love a little invite. That'd be cool. I use this thing all the time. Help me out. And obviously the last thing that would really sink WordPress, in my opinion, is complete internal chaos inside of WordPress itself. That Matt thing's kind of weird. He seems to be making everybody pretty upset on the Twitter side of things. If he loses the trust and respect of his teammates and they just walk out one day, that would be the most instantaneous thing that would happen to WordPress. Do I think it would happen? Probably not. I think that would make Matt probably resign or pay him off or something like that. I don't think that would just happen. Realistically, all of these things that I said would probably take years or even a decade to happen to WordPress, or have a developer team create something that's actually competitive towards WordPress. But the last one, just the team walking out or something like that, that could be something overnight. Everything else, we would have this on our radar, we would know all about it, and it would take forever. Hopefully it doesn't happen. I'm not saying it should happen, but the natural progression of things, that's what it is. Weekly template drops, a community that invites outsiders more often, common plugins just being included inside of the platform. Instead, I shouldn't have to download SSL, I shouldn't have to download a form builder, and the e-commerce side of things, WooCommerce, it takes forever to set up. If we just had something a little bit more simple than that, people would flock towards it. And overall, a better website builder, a unified website builder that just works with it. These website builders are such a pain in the butt. Everybody keeps on picking up different types of website builders. I gotta figure out how to use the dang thing. Come on. But just wanted to respond to the comments that I'm getting. This new platform here that we're kind of using here, it's daily.dev. A couple people commented on here about what we think would destroy WordPress. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think it's here to stay for a long, long time. And whatever happens, we'll be here building websites either way. Definitely subscribe if you guys like this type of video content. I know there's not a lot of people out here reporting on WordPress. Definitely, if you guys like this content, please subscribe. We're gonna be making some more videos. Let me know what else you guys wanna talk about. I'm always here. We're just building.